Why wouldn't he drop anchor and look for her? Why did he paddle the other way? If my significant other fell into the water, I'd be freaking out and going after him. Like, I wouldn't just bye. I'd be out in the middle of the ocean with you. At least we'll be, alive and together.
So you just got word he's going to be released?
That is correct, yes.
How are you feeling?
I am happy to see that justice is really working in this country, right? They had no evidence and they had no choice but to release him.
Well, it is a story that has captured national attention, and this morning a major development. Brian Hooker, who was arrested in connection to his wife's disappearance, has now been released from police custody without charges. Authorities say the couple was on a dinghy in the Bahamas April 4th when 55-year-old Lynette Hooker reportedly fell overboard, raising questions, serious ones, about what really happened. So we're going to be talking right now to investigative reporter Anne Emerson with Criminally Obsessed for the latest here. And what does this update mean for the direction of the case? And should Brian still be considered a person of interest?
Well, I definitely think that they're going to keep on talking to him and questioning him. I mean, you can also be a witness to something that had happened, like her falling overboard. That's incredibly important that Brian Hooker keeps on speaking to authorities. But of course, the big concern is that every time he speaks, we hear from the text messages that he was sending to friends over this period, his conversation that we just heard with his stepdaughter, and what he's telling the police. You know what? Those conversations that they're having, they don't exactly line up. And I think that's really what's bothering a lot of people is can we get to the truth of what happened to Lynette Hooker?
Okay, so Lynette's body not been found. That's a crucial detail here. And, if she's lost in the open ocean, what are the likelihood? What's the chances that her body could be found?
Well, and that's a great question because, it depends on how much we take credence in what we were told by Brian Hooker. Now, Brian has been very specific with where his dinghy was when his wife went overboard. And that was not necessarily the open ocean. I mean, there was like Elbow Key was between him and you're seeing the map right now of like where he was. I mean, it was not on the far side of the Atlantic Ocean. So there should have been some more protected water. Now, I think what I'm hearing from friends who I've been speaking with and that will be on our episodes with Criminally Obsessed, as well as a forensic criminologist. I mean, we need to get to the point of where is Lynette? Because, the defense attorney was right in saying there is no body. We do not know that Lynette Hooker has died. We do not know if she's dead, if she's alive. If she is a missing person right now. So how would she have gotten carried out to the open ocean is a huge question. And if she wasn't, where are the things that would be on someone who has fallen into the water? Why hasn't anything floated or washed ashore that we need to know about? Because that is one thing that we're not hearing. I have heard that the mom said, Lynette's mom has reportedly said that there was her Apple Watch was recovered, but that's all we've heard. Right now, we're just taking Brian Hooker's word for everything, that this is where she went overboard and she took the keys with her. But that's what we're hearing, and we're not seeing any evidence of anything coming ashore.
Okay, we need to talk as well about Carly Ellsworth. She has questioned her stepfather's telling of the events, said she's hoping this was a freak accident, but feels it may have been pre-planned. What else has she said? She's been a pretty vocal person in all of this.
Yeah, she came out right away, didn't she? She was like, I am not happy with the way this went down. She didn't, Lincoln, the conversation she had with her stepdad, she said, was very concerning, just the way he sort of dropped this bomb on her that her mom was missing. It didn't feel like it was making sense. Like, why didn't he go after her? And there are these reports in the media coming out from, Carly, from her mom, from her grandmother, Lynette's mother, also from other reports that are coming through of altercations between this couple, domestic disputes. And look, I mean, you're married for 21 years. There are going to be all kinds of things that pop up. Now, do they escalate to the point where there would be a police report? They're looking at any past patterns of behavior between the two of them. If they did fight, what were their fights like? What were their arguments like? Obviously, Carly, the daughter, has real concerns about her mother's safety. So these are things that are getting reported out there, but really this all lands on what can they prove? Just because you get in a fight 10 years ago or 2 years ago, is that proof that this turned violent on the water? No. So the police have a very, very hard job right now of proving what happened either on that dinghy or before they got to the dinghy to Lynette Hooker, and why it happened. Or was this just one of those horrific accidents that is just not explainable?
And of course, the couple, just more about their fighting, the couple was known to fight when they would drink. Any other details on that? Was there alcohol on the boat?
We don't know. I mean, that's hopefully, and this is, I was just speaking to Dr. Laura Petler, who's going to be on the show as well this week, about, as a forensic criminologist, who are they talking to? And their friends, talking to the sailing community. This is a very close community. There are boats that are usually moored close to each other. I talked to one of their sailing buddies who spent a lot of time with the Hookers last night. I spoke to him. He said, absolutely, there should be some record of how much they drank. Yeah, they were known to have a couple of drinks here and there. How much was they were drinking that night? We don't know. The media doesn't know, but hoping against hope that the police are going to the last place they were seen, in a restaurant or a bar or wherever they were on land, and find out exactly what was ordered and how much they had that night. Because as far as I know, there has not been any reports that they tested his blood alcohol level when he did finally make it ashore. And Lincoln, let's be very clear, we're talking hours later, he said that he basically floated on shore. So there's a massive time frame that we're dealing with right now, that we don't know what happened after Lynette allegedly went overboard.
Okay, excellent. Just about 20 seconds left. You're going to be talking more about this later on this week?
Yeah, I am. I can't stop. I mean, we are obsessed with this story because Lynette has got to be found, right? And the more we talk about this story, the better it will be to try and shed some light on this. And I've spoken with very close friends that were sailing buddies of them, and he's hoping against hope that this turns out that they find Lynette or they get to a better resolution. But also, I'm speaking to forensic criminologists. You're going to see it on Criminally Obsessed on our Daily Show podcasts. Anywhere you get your podcasts, you got to check this out. We have some great information on this.
Okay. Anne Emerson, thank you for talking with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lincoln.
All right, just a little more info for you here. Anne is the investigative reporter for Criminally Obsessed, our new true crime team. If you're one of those people who listens to true crime all the time, you're going to want to check out The Daily Show on YouTube. She's got some of the most fascinating deep dives on the stories everyone's talking about, like this one. You can click on the QR code right there on your screen. You'll find Anne's interviews. You can also listen to the Criminally Obsessed podcast on Apple and Spotify.